We live in a super digital, multimedia, now AI crazed world. And a novel is, in a sense, older school. It's a commitment. Less people are reading, although the audience is still there and vibrant. A lot of listeners now love classic sci-fi. They love reading sci-fi.
Yeah, I'm one of those readers. I've always loved reading classic sci-fi. So it's something that I knew I could do, but I've always loved movies. That was my original love, and I would originally write movies. I've made a couple short science fiction movies while I was in college, but to make a kind of a longer one that feels kind of real, that feels grounded is, obviously much more difficult. The ones that I made were a little bit corny. They looked like, classic Star Trek where the sets are just propped up by wood. So I wanted to originally start this as a movie, but I didn't know how this story could kind of work into that framework of 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So I just said, you know what, no restrictions. I'm just going to write this story as it appears in my head. And then I realized, oh, that's just what a book is. You're able to have description that's outside of what you can see, outside of what you can hear. And I've read enough books, and I originally, like when I was really young, that's what I liked doing, because when I was like 10, I didn't know what a screenplay even really was, so I would write things as books. And it's really something that anyone can, understand. It's just, it's like a screenplay, you kind of have to know a little bit about how it's going to be put together to look in the end. But with the book, you just get the hallucination in your head based on what's written.
And you have full control. So you could bring your own imagination to life. There's no one to appease on the set. You're not collaborating. And the only rules of the game are learning how to write a good book.
Yes, you got to appease the publisher, though.
Yes. But you self-published, though. Is this right? You're an indie author.
There were some requirements that they wanted, though, in our deal that we had.
Okay. All right. Good for you. And then it sounds like you started THX 1138 George Lucas style with your own college sci-fi movies. And you've contemplated, obviously writing for the screen, but you've got full control writing a book. And have you thought about graphic novel extensions and repurposing that way? Maybe your buddy Jesus in Chicago can help you do some lifting there too.
I don't know if my graphic novel literacy is up to snuff. I just haven't read too many. I've read a lot of Star Wars comics when I was younger. As far as
you're interesting to me because I'm a Gen Xer, and you smack me as just a couple years younger than I am, and you're a digital native, and you grew up in this maelstrom of digital tech, screens, and you're writing a book, and the idea of a graphic novel isn't natural to you. You're more on the page, which again just strikes me as interesting. It's kind of like you're a collector of vinyl records.